Greetings and welcome to INFODOME. Elizabeth I, also known as the Virgin Queen, reigned during a period known as the Elizabethan Age, when England asserted itself vigorously as a major European power in politics, commerce and the arts. So please keep watching to learn more about Good Queen Bess. Elizabeth's early years were not favourable. She was born at Greenwich Palace, the daughter of the Tudor King Henry VIII and his second wife Anne Boleyn. Since the king hoped that Anne Boleyn would give birth to a male heir, the birth of a second daughter was a bitter disappointment that dangerously weakened the new queen's position. Before Elizabeth reached her third birthday, her father had her mother beheaded on charges of adultery and treason. Moreover, at Henry's instigation, an Act of Parliament declared his marriage with Anne Boleyn invalid from the beginning, thus making their daughter Elizabeth illegitimate, as Roman Catholics had all along claimed her to be. In 1553, her Catholic sister Mary took the throne, and as her sister demanded, she conformed outwardly to official Catholic observance. She became the focus and the obvious beneficiary of plots to overthrow the government and restore Protestantism. Arrested and sent to the Tower of London in 1554, Elizabeth narrowly escaped her mother's fate. 2 months later, after extensive interrogation and spying had revealed no conclusive evidence of treason on her part, she was released from the Tower and placed in close custody for about a year. The death of Mary on November 17, 1558, Elizabeth came to the throne amid public jubilation. The Queen began at once to form her government and issue proclamations. She reduced the size of the Privy Council, in part to purge some of its Catholic members, and also to make it more efficient as an advisory body. She began a restructuring of the enormous royal household, and she assembled a core of experienced and trustworthy advisors. During Elizabeth's reign, she sought to return the country from Catholic to Protestant, like her father had done before her. But thankfully, Elizabeth proved to be a more tolerant ruler than Mary and tried to make England a fairer place for everyone. Many people in the 16th century believed that a woman wasn't fit to rule, but Elizabeth was quick to prove them wrong. She could be as cunning and ruthless as a leader as any king who came before her, and she was a strong, formidable leader. Elizabeth did, however, have a weakness for flattery, and she could be extremely vain. Every portrait was carefully inspected to make sure she looked her absolute best. Over the years of Elizabeth's rule, she was often encouraged to marry. Her advisors thought she needed a husband to support her and an heir to succeed her. In 1566, Parliament even tried to force Elizabeth's hand by refusing to give her any more money until she married. Elizabeth refused to back down, saying, "I am already bound unto a husband, which is the kingdom of England." Many men proposed, but Elizabeth always kept them waiting. If Elizabeth died childless, the Tudor line would come to an end. The nearest heir was Mary, Queen of Scots, the granddaughter of Henry VIII's sister Margaret. Mary, Queen of Scots, and Elizabeth were first cousins and queens of their respective countries, although they had a rocky relationship that dominated English-Scottish politics for 20 years. Mary was a Catholic, and many Catholics thought she should be Queen of England. Elizabeth, aware that she could be a threat to the throne, kept Mary prisoner for 19 years. After a plot was uncovered to overthrow Elizabeth, Mary was found guilty of treason and beheaded in 1587. Mary's execution angered Catholics in Europe. The Pope encouraged King Philip II of Spain to invade England, remove Elizabeth, and make the country Catholic again. In 1588, Philip sent a fleet of 130 ships, known as the Spanish Armada, to England. The English fleet met the Armada in the English Channel and sent burning ships into the midst of the Spanish ships, forcing them to split up and scatter. The Spanish retreated, intending to sail around the British Isles and back to Spain, but a terrible storm wrecked many of the ships off Scotland and Ireland. The English believed that this showed that God approved of the Queen. Elizabeth's reign is looked back on as a golden age in British history. It was a time of great exploration by men such as Sir Francis Drake and Sir Walter Raleigh, who discovered new lands and set up new colonies overseas. Poetry, music and literature flourished, and London opened its first theatres. Playwrights such as William Shakespeare were hugely popular, especially with the Queen, who attended the first performance of Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream. In the early 1600s, Elizabeth's health had been failing for some time. She was balding, had bad breath due to her rotting teeth, and spent a lot of her time expressing regret over decisions she'd made during her reign. On the 24th of March 1603, Elizabeth I died, having reigned for 44 years as a very popular queen. As she had no children, and therefore no direct heir to the throne, she was the last Tudor monarch. Following her death, Mary, Queen of Scots' son, James VI of Scotland, was named King James I of England. The cause of her death was never determined, but whilst no theory has been proven, many people think Elizabeth may have had blood poisoning from the makeup she wore. Makeup in the Tudor era was full of toxic ingredients such as lead, and Elizabeth famously wore a lot of it. Elizabeth is often remembered as a powerful and clever monarch. She reigned England at a time when religious opinion was divided, yet for the most part, she managed to maintain peace and prosperity, and reigned over a golden age. Thank you for watching this video. We hope you enjoyed it. Please take a look at the rest of our videos to feed your curiosity. Until next time.